So in that spirit, I happened to reach out to Black Lives Matter. I reached out to the 3 original organizers, right? So the 3 original organizers, I sent this. I said, 3 questions from hashtag TFR Podcast Live and hashtag TFR Podcast Live OB. And I, of course, connected them to the question. These are 3 very important questions about BLM today, right? And what we're seeing on television. Are you in agreement with Black Visions Collective out of Minnesota? Who is Black Visions Collective? We're going to talk about that in just one second. 2, have you been co-opted by other organizations posing as BLM? Have you been co-opted by other organizations posing as you? And what you say that you are about on your website. And number 3, this is very important for me because I come from a merch, retail, entrepreneurial background, producing for-profit music, t-shirts, etc., etc. Are you in control of the money made from BLM merch? Because everybody hashtag BLM, they're walking around with Black Lives Matter t-shirts. Different cities got different Black Lives Matters, different designs. In Minnesota, they had a design. The ones that accosted the people coming out the RNC on that Wednesday night, they were wearing a different design of BLM merch. So my question to them is, are you in control of your merch? 1, are you in agreement with Black Visions Collective out of Minnesota? 2, have you been co-opted by other organizations posing as BLM? And number 3, are you in control of the money made from BLM? Now, of course, I did not get a response from BLM, right? I did not get a response from them because these are, common sense questions for those who are running an organization to be in control of the messaging. And how are you in control of the messaging? Who you're in agreement with, making sure you're not being co-opted, and if you have control of the money source of what's going on with you and what you're doing. So that's what we're looking at. So what you had to say to that real quick before we go forward and talk about who Black Visions is as an organization?
I thought those were very poignant questions, and I'm going to take the high road and say maybe their mailbox is so full and they have so many that they have to get through. They just haven't gotten to yours yet. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, and a month from now, when we're still sitting here and you haven't gotten the answer, then there will be no more doubt. Okay. Like I said before, it's a long-standing discussion as to which Black Lives Matter this are, because what I understand, the first Black Lives Matter, most of them was offered jobs in the government. This is what what the consensus was, that most of them was offered jobs in the government, so they got very quiet after that, because they were satisfied because their lives mattered enough to get a good job to take care of their family. So they were quiet after that. They were cool or bought off or whatever, however it is you want to term it. But these, you just have to go to their site. You have to also look up the interviews, the live interviews that they have with different sources on YouTube to know what it is they really stand for and what it is that they're really about. I'm not going to get on that today because I can go for a whole show on that alone, but I'm not going to get there. But yeah, we need these questions answered, because if you, again, people, we need you to pay attention. Don't blindly follow something because it says black. I'm not doing that. I'm not blindly following anything, no matter what it says. I don't blindly follow things that say kingdom. I don't blindly follow things. I observe. I see what's going on. I see the behaviors. I see the, the ongoing backgrounds and integrity measurement and character measurement of the people. I don't just blindly follow people. I'm a leader myself. So, I mean, really, I don't really follow anybody. But if I'm going to be in support of you, and be friendly towards or kind towards what you're doing, then I need to know that you're operating on a certain level for me to be, at least agreeable to it. Follow it, not, but being agreeable, I could be agreeable and support and say, support what you stand for.
Okay, people, so let's look at who this group is. This from out of Minnesota. Let me bring this up larger, right? So that I can show it to you right here. Let me bring it about right here, because I gotta be able to read that writing. Okay, people, so here we go. Black Visions Collective, right? Black Visions Collective. Their tagline on their Twitter page, they're from out of Minnesota. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Then they tell you what to text to know how to be informed about the next insurrection or uprising, because we have nothing to lose but our chains. This is Black Visions Collective from out of Minnesota. Now, originally, Black Visions formed in 2017. BLM, hashtag BLM, originally formed in 2013, right? So there are some years, there's 4 years in between these two organizations being formed. This organization, from what I can understand, in Minnesota, it appears to me, just looking at it, I didn't find this, but it just appears to me, my opinion, just my observation, that it was like churches. They probably were a chapter of Black Lives Matter, and they probably got a little disgruntled because Black Lives Matter did not go into doing things that were more guerrilla warfare style or militant style. Like, if you remember the original BLM, they would sit out and have a die-in where they would die on the sidewalk, and then the police would have to come in and pick them up. It was passive resistance, a page from out of Martin Luther King to get the point across. Mass protest of black bodies laying out, these are how many bodies were murdered last year by police, etc., like that. Black Visions is not like that, right? That's why I asked those 3 questions to hashtag BLM, because they are not like that. Now listen now, they say funds will go to support those responding to the political and cultural opportunity to defund police and begin the transition process towards developing and implementing a shared vision of community-led safety. Funds will also go to provide direct, mutual, etc., for those who are locked up. They will go towards the legal fund, right? Okay. Now remember, They're in 2017, and it appears to me that they're just masking themselves by wearing hashtag BLM. That's why I asked BLM, do you agree with them? 2, are you being co-opted by? And 3, are you in control of your merch, of your name? Are you in control of that? That's why I asked that. Now, this organization gets donations from, well, first of all, they are a nonprofit, and they were originally granted a $20,000 grant by the Minnesota, by one of the Minnesota municipalities, right, to help with the police and American black, I'm going to say American black civilians, and the communications between communications boards and oversight by civilian boards and all that on police, right? It appears since they got the money, however, that it has their directive and their stated goal has changed. Now they're getting donations from stars, from various organizations who are funding this. So when they're walking out and they're doing what they're doing, that's why I asked way a long time ago when I was watching the different footage over the last several weeks. I'm like, they're smashing cars, they're smashing up, they're breaking into things, and they're claiming BLM. But there's a few different organizations claiming BLM. There's a white organization that's claiming BLM, but then this organization that is about more militant action is also claiming BLM. So we stick with them. We're going to get to the white organization a little bit later in the show, because you know we don't keep our hands off of Caucasians that are doing wrong to black people. But anyway, American black people in particular. So look, they are out here doing this, and they are masking themselves as BLM, and they have changed, and they are a militant organization. And I can say that thanks to the majority of Caucasians out there, and we've seen enough footage, when we think of BLM now, we think of Caucasians. So when different channels say BLM activists, we think of Caucasians. With this group right here though, and seeing what they're doing and utilizing the BLM tag to mask Black Visions Collective, we don't know what their end game is. What is the end game? What are you looking to do? You're defunding the police, and it's kind of vague in your description. Where are we moving with this so-called community? 213-943-3358. 213-943-3358. Do you agree with Black Visions Collective that there shouldn't be a police force anymore? 213-943-3358. Should they be defunded? Should they be washed away, dissolved down the drain for something that's more community? Because we saw what happened with community in Seattle, right?
See, this is some things to take note of. So Black Visions, plural. Black Visions, plural. Collective. So more than one vision coming together in a collective effort. More than one vision. Since the disbanding of the police department and things such as that is being vague, that means that's not necessarily the end game. It has to be included as a draw